going on? What's going on? We're back. You know how we do it. We are back. Yeah, baby boy. What's going on, ladies? What's going on, gentlemen? Oh, man. The Godfather's back in the house, and the house will soon be packed. Going on, Ike?
I am the king and will not be. I am the king.
Ike said he will not be denied. What's going on, people? Welcome back to another episode of your favorite nighttime show. Excuse me, it's Friday night. It is Friday night. It has been a hell of a week. But as usual on Friday nights, we tighten it up and we slow it down to prep ourselves for an extraordinary weekend. And we, just kind of get ready to discuss multiple things. Now, you see the title of the show. What value do you bring to a successful man? Yes, and I put in high value. Since you suckers are so upset about it, since so many people are in their feelings about it, must be working. So we're going to keep on with it. What do you bring to the table? What do modern women today, what do you as a woman today individually? This is a fair question. What do women bring? What value do women bring to a successful man? See, this is the real high value discussion. All those this is the real what do you bring to the table discussion. See, before when guys had asked the question, what do women bring to the table? What do women bring to the table? It was always dismissed and thrown away as like, I bring me and I bring this and I bring that. But now, as we're starting to go for specificity, now we're getting into it. And we're starting to ask the very fair and I think very reasonable question. As a woman, where do you rank? As a woman, what do you rate? And how are the men that you want? How do the men that you want, how are they supposed to pick you? And see, oh, it's kind of personal. That's bullshit. It's not personal. Your value is not personal. And that's the problem. See, women, you ladies want men, everything about men to be upfront and transparent. But you want to hide your value. And I've said it before and I will say it again. Only a fool hides value. Let me tell you why so many women want to hide their value. Because you want a guy, women who want to hide their value will be no different than somebody saying, drive this car without a test drive and not putting it to a mechanic. Who would do that? Who would go invest their hard-earned money into an automobile that they could not test drive and they could not take to a mechanic? But see, far too many women today are doing that. And see, one thing that I noticed, especially about women who are this high value detractor or the men that defend women, they're pretty much saying, oh no, women don't need to do anything. They just need to exist. Women just need to exist. And as a man, you just need to figure it out. You need to go out there and make yourself a top guy. Because let's knock the bull crap off to the people who really want to get, well, who's high value? It ain't, if you got to ask the question, you don't belong in the conversation. How about that? If you got to ask the question, you don't belong in the conversation, because we're moving on. Women who have called into this show consistently over months have said, look, I want a man where I can afford to not work or work from home, live a nice middle class life, have 3 children, and have them all be able to go to college if they want, and to be able to travel. And look, man, it costs $300,000 a year for a man to make that kind of money to live that kind of lifestyle. Don't get mad at me because the women say they want it. Dr. T.S. Johnson, shout out to him last night, said hypergamy has gotten out of hand. And I'm just addressing what's going on. I'm addressing the ladies and saying, great, ladies, I hear you. I hear you. And yes, you should be able to go after whatever you want. I have no problems with it. See, unlike what a lot of people who don't listen to me or don't know what I talk about, they if you can't listen to me, a lot of folks are just making up their own things, and that's cool. The more you talk about me, the more it actually makes this thing work. Because people want to come figure out, what am I talking about? And when you get over here and listen, I'm just talking about trying to help men become the best version of themselves and help women get what they want. And ladies, let's be honest. Let's be honest. You want a certain caliber of man. Men want beautiful women. Women want successful, productive men. That's the deal. That is the deal. The question is, what value do you as a woman bring to that high value man, that successful man? That's what we're going to get into and talk about tonight. So normally I would say get the likes up, but here's the thing. I don't have to worry about the likes because got a bunch of crybabies in their feelings right now. And hit the like button. I got people who say, oh, why you turn off the like? I'm going to go in and hit the dislike in the stream. Hit it. Hit it. You know what? As a matter of fact, I would do you even one better. I'm gonna do you even one better. Let you do it. So moderators, here's the only thing I ask is people come in here and let people say what they want to say, as long as they are respectful. As long as it doesn't get pejorative and insulting. But I am going to control my platform. And as we move forward today, first thing I need to do is I need you guys to make sure that if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, because YouTube, from time to time, unsubscribes people who are not. Make sure you continue to be subscribed, because you may have subscribed, and if you come back, you may find that your subscriptions or your notifications have been turned off. Your subscriptions or your notifications may have been turned off. So here we go. Hit the like button. Because tonight I'm talking to the ladies. Ladies, to all the feminine, beautiful, and inspirational women out there, to the women who are fit, feminine, and friendly, you should pretty much know some of the things you bring to the table. What 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 value do you bring? See, sadly, and I know it's no woman in this chat room, but sadly, I've heard many women say the value I bring is me, and that's vague. Or I've heard men say the value that a woman brings to the table is her womb. Okay? Or her WAP. All right. Today we're going to discuss, ladies, what value do you bring to the men that you say you want? And here's the thing, if you know what you bring, you know the value you bring to those men, great, I want to hear it from you. But here's the better question. How many of you women don't know what your value is? Or what your value is, these guys don't want. So, if you want a productive, competitive man, and I like it or not, guys, you might as well get over it. I don't hear women really beating down the door for guys who are making $50,000 a year. You know, oftentimes I hear women say, I'll settle for a guy like that. But honestly, do you want to be the man that anybody settles for? I mean, my platform, it is uncomfortable because it gets real true. Men don't want to be somebody that a woman settles for because she's always, how's that going to be? You think you're going to live a nice life with a woman who settles for you? After she's already done what she wanted to do with other guys and she's settling for you? No, man, you don't want to be somebody she settles for. So that's how guys go out and decide to make themselves the best version of themselves. Get out and do the work and go out and increase their value. And then when they increase their value, shout out to Jordan, just showing some love. Guys, follow Jordan's example, make sure these broadcasts go on because, yeah, you know how it is. How do you determine your value, ladies? Because for the women who say, I only want to hear from the women tonight. I'm not listening to guys. No men are calling in to this show. Ladies are calling into the show, and I'm talking to the women. And I may even make it a panel if I get the right mixture of women, because this is not a diss fest. This is a real let's talk about what is your value. Because the kind of men you say you want, most women say they want a man who's earning at least double what they're making. Sometimes I've heard women say they want a man who's earning at least 3 times what they're making or more. And that's fine. And you get a man like that. What does he want? What does he want? What does he want? And are you bringing it to the table? And in the description, it says, what value do you bring to the man? This is basically, what do you bring to the table? Because you got to ask yourself, if a man is out here it's a high value man, you talk about that 6 figures. I don't care how elite it is, how unlikely it is. Dr. Tia Son Johnson did a great job breaking down yesterday where this comes from, and I'll allow the detractors. So go back to it. He said he has college students, men in school saying, what do you think you have to earn annually to be able to afford the woman sitting next to you in class? And he said he is yet to have a 17, 18, 19-year-old college man say less than 6 figures. So that is the reality. And these women are saying they want men who are 6-figure earners. I don't want no 9-to-5 guy. I'm just speaking to it. And if women want that, I hear you, ladies. there are less than 10% of men out there make $100,000 or more. 15% of men make $85,000 or more. So if you want the top 10% of men, I'll even expand it out to the top 15% of men. If you're making $85,000 a year in Dallas, Houston, Austin, San Antonio, I think that makes you rather successful. And as a successful man, or if you've reached the next level of high earning man, Henry, high earner, not rich yet. See, there's a successful man, there's a high earning man, there's a Henry, high earner, not rich yet, and then there's high value. There's 4 different tiers. Successful starts around $85,000 or more, top 15%. Next level is the guy who cracks 6 figures. That makes you a high earner. But then when you start getting into moving up into the 6 figures, that makes you a high earner, not rich yet. You're in the $150, $200, $300,000 range, but you still got to stack together. But when you put all the chips together and you uno, you get the uno, and it's like, all right, you get all that together. A man who's making, low to mid 6 figures, and he has the income and the network and the gravitas and all the other things that are supposed to be so impossible for men to attain, especially men. But I don't buy that stuff. That's why I'm saying this thing has got to separate, because there's the success is a different conversation. Once you put all those things together, ladies, these men are not the norm. Granted, the other men you say that you want, the top 20%, the top 15%, the top 10% of men. What value do you bring to a man like that? What is this person here talking about? Less than 5% of the population makes, 50,000. That's wrong. We're talking about population. I don't care about population. We're talking about men. We're speaking about men. Don't type in all caps. You will be timed out by the system. All right, guys. We need to get the likes up and get this. And guys, do me a favor. Share this out, because YouTube is playing with the notifications these days. If you've seen how many people already decided they were upset about this video, you know what's going to happen. So do me a favor. Go ahead and share this out. Let me go ahead and share this out to my Facebook. So, ladies in the chat room, ask yourself a question. What value do you bring to a man who does not need you to work? He does not need you to survive. His ends are meeting like a mug. What value do you bring to this guy? What value do you bring to a man who is stable, on the path to success, connected, and all these things? Modern men today, for the most part, learned how to cook. And these guys don't really tend to cook. They tend to, because they're working, they, Blue Apron, or they're getting Uber Eats or whatever. They're eating healthy. They work out. These guys are active. They're movers. They're shakers. They're doing things. They're taking their clothes to the dry cleaners. They take the laundry to the dry cleaners. I take my clothes to the dry cleaners. I also take my laundry to the dry cleaners. Why? Because they have a full service. Why not? Yes, you have the high capacity your European washer and dryer. Great, just take it to the dry cleaners. Tomorrow it's ready, all folded. The housekeeper comes through twice a month. Bop bop bop. Lawn service taken care of. Got the mechanic. What do you bring to a man whose home, for the most part, is automated? Washing dishes. There are no dishes to wash. And if you did, what do you bring? What value do you bring? What do you bring to a successful man's situation to honestly justify your expense. Let's just get right down to it. What do you bring to a successful man's situation to justify your expense? Because you are an expense. Well, I bring me. Great. Half the planet's full of you. Sex? I'm sorry. Today, sex is not. Sex, swipe left, swipe right. And guys men are successful, they're having sex thrown at them left and right. Isn't that one of you ladies' biggest fears? Shout out to Profits Over Wages. Isn't that one of you ladies' biggest fears? Isn't it your ladies' biggest fear that I'm going to get with a successful man and he's going to cheat on me? Get the likes up, people. And what I need you ladies to understand is and while you're sitting here trying to figure out, well, what do I bring? You need to stop, pause, breathe, and think and listen. You need to recalibrate and ask yourself, what do men of this caliber, men of this status, what do they want? What do they value? Do I have it? Can I get it? Am I willing to give it to them the way they want it so they'll pick me? That's what it comes down to. See, this is where the whole men are the prize, women are the prize, but men are the catch. This is where we're at. That whole what do you bring to the table for men? Incomplete argument. Most of them are like, I don't care about what I bring to the table because they ain't looking for 80% of the men out there. They're looking for the top 20% of guys. They're looking for doctor, lawyer, entertainer. Shout out to Dr. Tia Son Johnson. And that bothers my tech guys. Because tech guys earn a lot, but you don't have the social capital that they're looking for. We can work on that. And we're going to expand the conversation because I think you should be looking for, if you're going to add those guys in, ladies, doctor, lawyer, entertainer, those are fine. You also need to be looking for sales and tech. This is on the white collar side. Doctor, lawyer, sales, tech. I don't deal with entertainers. They can go over there. Entertainers, athletes, they're a different breed. And then on the blue collar side, business owners. Business owners are on track to have employees. That puts you in that different category. What do men like that? What do Blake Henry, Bradley, Ahmed, Keith, and Enrique, the Henrys? What do the Henrys, what do the Henrys need from a woman? What do the high earners, not rich yet, need from a woman? Because my guys who are successful, they're making 85 plus. They're maybe not necessarily in a position to have a woman. They're really just getting into their own. But taking on the responsibility of a wife and 3 children and the suburbs and multiple cars, that's a lot for that amount of money in this country. For the kind of lifestyle many women want today. If you were trying to live on one salary, then it would be different, but we know that ain't the case. You know, middle class people want red bottoms for some reason. All right, so you get on up into the Henry category, the high earners, not rich yet. What do they need? They don't need anything, ladies. That's the point. They don't need you for anything. Don't type in all caps. These men don't need you for anything. And see, if you are trying to sell a product or service to a market that doesn't need it, you need to have extraordinary sales skills, because either you create a need, you discover a need, or you go to another market. Sales 101, discover a need. But if they don't need you, you got to create a need. And if you can't discover or create, you got to go to another market. Well, all right. Well, the kind of men have been told that they need to be six figures and all this other kind of stuff, or you ain't gonna compromise, you ain't gonna submit, you're not gonna do any of that. So when they've gone out and done that, now you gotta say, uh-oh, hypergamy is flipped around on you. What do they want? CPA's accounts at a high level. They think, well, I say yes, but that's CPA. So, and accountants are not, accounting is just not a field where you make a lot of money. Tech is. See, everybody wants to get crammed into this category, and they're always one-offs, but it is what it is. All right, so back to the conversation. Get the likes up, folks. Many women have never been asked a question or thought that they need to do anything other than give a man access to your body. What do you bring? I bring me. I bring this. And is that a need? I mean, it's a want and a desire. Well, here's one thing you often hear women say. I bring the ability to create legacy, meaning children. That's not unique to you, lady. Ma'am, that's not unique to you. When I had Dr. Johnson on yesterday, he said, look, he said, I need to give you an update. At one time, I had a lot of white women coming to my class to learn about black men because they were interested in dating and marrying black men. So they were coming to learn about black men. And I'm like, well, okay, you got white women coming to learn about black men so they can become better girlfriends and wives to black men. Now he says, let me update you. That's Latinas. Ladies, you got white women and Latina women going to college to learn how to get with successful men, successful black men. And that's what it comes down to. The men you want are in short supply. And you think by just being average, you should get one. Wrong. You think by just being the same race, you should get one. Wrong. You have to become as special as he is. You need to increase your value to match his. Remember, you wanted an equally yoked relationship? Well, where is your yoke of your value? Get the likes up, people, because if you don't get them up, here's what happens. Get the likes up, man. I want to hear from the ladies, especially, and the young ladies. Do respect young ladies. You're in a different position, but ladies who are in the danger zone. See, this is where it really comes down for the women between 27 and 35. What value do you bring to men who are successful? What value do you bring to successful men? But for women who are 36 plus, you are officially in no man's land. And men 36 plus are entering into that Henry or that high value stage. The older you get, the higher up the men go. And the more value you need to bring to justify your position. What do you bring? What are you doing? And here's the issue I have with platforms and places that tell women what they want to hear. They end up letting you waste time. They end up letting you waste time focusing on your career, your job, your this, your that, and not focusing on what do I need to make myself valuable to the kind of man I want to marry. Or what do I need to do to make myself valuable to the kind of man I want to marry me? Shout out to my dude, Minister Jap. He did a broadcast today. I think it was right on time, talking about low value women and women who are setting records for being engaged. You've been engaged 2, 3, 4 times. You've been engaged 3, 4, 5 years. Like that's a badge of honor. It's not being engaged multiple times is nothing to be proud of. And this is what you need to get down to, ladies, because like it or not, the caliber of men you want are in demand. They're in demand, and women, and they're in demand, and women everywhere know it. What are you willing to do to get what it is you say you want? And sadly, for a lot of women, that ain't nothing. A lot of women, they think, well, what do you mean? What am I willing to do? I just have to exist. Wrong. What value do women bring to successful or high value men? Ladies only. So I get it. This is a new concept. That's why this whole value is pissing so many people off, because guess what it is? It is a real-time adult progress report. So don't shoot the messenger. It's a real-time adult progress report. Well, who are you to say this? Get on it. Get past 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 it. High value mindset. High value mindset of men who are on the path. All right. I'm going to also touch base on this as I move on to the next phase, because I just dropped the call line in there so we can get it started. I dropped this on Patreon, but I'm going to go more into this on another broadcast. High value mindset is necessary to get to the next level. Here we go. What does that mean? That means when you're first generation high value, making yourself first generation high value, you need to understand something. I don't want to talk. You cannot say you are high value if you have not failed. If you have not failed in spectacular fashion, I don't trust men who say they're high value or say there's something they haven't failed. Failure is a critical component of increasing your value. Failure. The facts of being high value, the facts of increasing your value, failure. So I need you guys to understand something clear as day. High value men are failures. They got lots of failures because they try things. So oftentimes people try to throw people's failures up in their faces, but it's a requirement. If you haven't failed, I don't trust you. Neither do most high value men. That's why there's group acceptance. Somebody who just came in and got no dirt on them, what did Alonzo say? In order for somebody to trust you, you got to have a little dirt on you. In order for people to trust you in high value, you got to have a lot of failure on you. You got to have some failure on you. Oh, you didn't been bankrupt. You didn't had a repossession. You didn't had to move in with your mama. You didn't had a repossession or foreclosure. You didn't had a bankruptcy. Oh, okay, all right, I can trust you. But if it's all been smooth sailing, oh, you just went from college, from high school to Princeton, and from Princeton to clerking, and from clerking and you just went straight. Oh no, we don't trust you. You ain't ever had no adversity. That's one of the facts of being high value. 2, action. You got to do something. You got to move. You got to take action. You don't sit around and analyze everything over and over again. Action does things. You have to take action. You have to fail and you have to take action. Failure and action. The next part, change. And here's the biggest problem, change. And this is in particular in the black community. Let me talk to black folks real quick. See, black people will love to talk about, some black folks will like to say, well, you talking all this high value, this, you that, but that dude wasn't shit back in high school. Or he wasn't shit over on here or back in his neighborhood or back over whatever. Jesus could do no good works in his own town because they would not accept him. See, people oftentimes want to leave you stuck where they met you, saying, well, he wasn't shit 3 years ago, and now he's on this whole high value thing, or he wasn't shit. I've heard that mentioned about content creators, and that's really a black folk thing. Get over it. People can change, and black men, let me tell you, folks will try to tell you shouldn't change. You need to change often. You need to take a phoenix approach. You know, if high value had a mascot, it would be the phoenix. Because it can crash and burn and then all of a sudden reignite, because you can go from 1 year being on the street, 7 years later, high value. And a change component is in there. And the big problem is people want things to stay the same. Why? Because typically if you like the prom queen, or if you were the shit in high school or something like that, you peak too soon. High value is littered with late bloomers. High value is littered with late bloomers. You don't need to, you bloomed in high school or college in your 20s, but you got stuck. High value, you bloom in your late 30s or 40s. Oh, I'm getting to it. So failure, action, change, and the last thing, it takes time. Time and tenacity, but time more than anything else. Time, 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 time. You cannot become high value in a season. So it takes time. It takes effort. And the time is the variable. It requires patience. It requires failing, trying again, failing better. It requires laying down, rolling over, crawling, standing, walking, running. So there was several things that people who really don't like this thing, because you're not supposed to have failure, or you're not supposed to change, and you're not supposed to, welcome, 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 welcome. So when a man does all these things, he expects a worthy reward. What are you? He expects a worthy prize. What are you? If you're the prize, what is it worth? What's the value to a man? I said no men. So if you call in and you're a man, you will not get in on the phone. So understand this. Yeah, dude, you're not gonna get in. You might as well not even try. Understand this. Oh, you need to let me see who I'm talking to. So, ladies, what value do you bring to a man like this? A man like that. Think about it. A man like that, a man who's had failures, setbacks, catastrophic failures, and had to claw his way back. He wasn't content with just staying right here. He wasn't content just working a job. He had a failure, and then he had to get back out there and do it in public, because once you fail, see, we take failure, especially in some communities, you take failure as like that makes you not worthy. Sorry, failure makes you eminently worthy, because the fact that you got back up. That's why a lot of people like these Rocky movies. You got knocked down, but you get back up. What do you do when you get hit? What do you do when something falls apart, when it fails? And the fact that you had the balls to stand up and do it again in public, check your ego, and get back out there and take action and change and start doing what works and do it over a period of time, those men are special. And the higher up they go, the more special they get. What value do you bring to them? So here's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help you ladies market yourself to these men. Like in my group, the mix, 1, 2, 3, 4 couples have met. 1, 2, 3, 4 black couples have met. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there will be some marriages pretty damn soon. And in my group, I'm actually taking like-minded men, like-minded women, and helping these ladies understand, be around like-minded women, and it's working. And I'm not a matchmaker, I'm not a matchmaker or relationship coach. So, if you're, more on that later. But the ladies of the mix are something special, because they raise their hand and say, you know what, I want to be better than I was, or I want to be better than my competition. And the men are something special too. They're saying, you know what, I'm not where I want to be, but I want to get there. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Michael, that's the thing. And see, you say Michael Jordan failed early, but see, oftentimes, I'm going to do an entire broadcast on the facts. Failure, action, change, and time. They always want, the main thing is you are a failure or you changed. You need to fail and you need to change. If you're doing the same shit if you're doing the same stuff you've been doing since high school, then I want to be around you. Male adults should be a different person or have different things going on every 5 years. So let's get into it. Ladies, what value do you bring to the men that you want? What value do women bring to successful men, high value men, Henrys? What value do you bring? Or do you just not give a damn? Do you just not want them? Okay. If you don't want them, then what do you want? Because that's where we're at. The call line is open. And put it down in the comment section. The call line is open. Hold on. First up, we got to get the likes up, and we're gonna have to get these. Let's see. Let me read some of the things in the comment section. Check your Cash App. Will do. I love how you look in the suit today. Appreciate it. Keep doing the damn thing. Wait until sex bots hit the market. Game over. Well, maybe. If a woman's value is rooted in sex, there's a shelf life in that. Isn't she subject to a trade-in at a later date? I don't think a woman's value is rooted in sex. I don't think a woman's value is rooted in sex. That's the thing. Not the women I deal with. I like sexy women. I like beautiful women, but I never just think a woman's value is rooted in sex, man. Because sex, you can only do that so many hours of a day. And honestly, you don't even, come on, man. Busy men, competent men? No, man. They got other things going on. All right, so here's what we do. We're going to take a slight break. We're going to open the call lines fully, and we're going to get into it. I want to answer some of these women's questions. How do you increase your value, ladies? How do you increase your value? How do you demonstrate your value? How do you market your value? How do you let the kind of men that you know, how do you let the men that you want know that they should pick you? That's the question.
Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. Si me quiero educar, dormir en algún lugar, un lugar para trabajar, y si no hay para emigrar. Todo money, money, todo el dinero. Solo un par de gente se lleva el botín entero. Funny, funny, pasa verdadero. Si tienes lo verde siempre llegará primero. Pero llegaremos antes o después. Solo a lo suyo, que Dios te lo ve. Que por más que tarde lo veré caer. Somos más lo bueno y tenemos fe. El dinero ya lo veré. No vendo mi alma, lo lograré. Seré el más grande, no olvidaré de dónde vengo ni cómo fue. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. Yo digo las cosas como son. No quiero ninguna aceptación. Tampoco vengo a pedir perdón, porque mis sentimientos se volvieron la canción, yeah. No me vale mucho como tú me ves. Sabes, tú me llegas solo a los pies. Para mí ser grande es un interés. Ser un buen humano para mí es un deber. El dinero ya lo veré. No vendo mi alma, lo lograré. Seré el más grande, no olvidaré de dónde vengo ni cómo fue. Money work, yeah. El mundo quiere dinero, yeah, yeah. Money work. Se arregla con dinero, yeah. Money work. De corazón, la plata no te hace ser feliz. Yeah, yeah, de corazón, yeah. La plata no te hace ser feliz. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Yeah, 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 yeah. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. Lunático.
All right, we're back. We're back. And we got 2 people in right now and more people coming on in. You don't have to get on camera if you don't want to. On YouTube on camera. But let me see. Godiva, go ahead. How are you? Go ahead and unmute yourself. Hey, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. What do you have for me? What value do you bring to successful men or high value men?
So, first, I would like to say I love your show. I've just recently started watching.
Okay.
I'm
Appreciate it.
loving. No problem, no problem. So, I would say that it's not a one size fits all. I
Okay.
definitely like to gauge the person I'm dealing with to see what it is they need in their life.
Okay. How old are you?
I am 29.
All right. Well, let me say one thing that I understand. Um, you like to gauge the person, but there's a presumption there. What is a presumption?
Oh, is this not a rhetorical?
No, no, no. What is the presumption? No, no. You say I like to gauge the person to
Hmm.
see what they need, right?
Yes.
The presumption is they are choosing you and letting you give that kind of time.
Okay, I hear you.
You understand what I mean?
Yes, I absolutely do.
So how can you? So let's say you see Keith or you see Marcus. How can
Hmm.
you gauge what Keith or Marcus needs if he doesn't know if he doesn't step to you?
This is very true. This is very true. Okay. All right. Well, one thing that I know that I do bring is the way that I interact with people, the way I make a man feel. So I like to speak life into people. That has always been something for me in my life. Positive affirmations, just being somebody's peace, just understanding that. So,
Okay. Well, that's great. Have you ever dated a high value man?
uh, I have.
Okay. Um.
I'm also calling from Toronto, so it's
Okay.
not okay. Yeah.
Well, one thing I hear often from women is after they pick me, then I do these things.
Hmm.
But how does he know to pick you in order for you to speak life into him? How you separate yourself from the pack?
Well,
You see,
I
that's
don't.
go ahead.
No, no. Go ahead.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
You see, that's the question because you ladies, most women come at this thing as though it's a foregone conclusion that they're just the best option and guys are going to pick them.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely understand where you're coming from.
But that's not true.
Hmm.
Jordan. So, I mean, so do you want to get married, Godiva?
I do.
Okay. Any children? You want any children?
I do.
How many?
Um, honestly, I've thought about maybe two or three.
Okay.
Depends on what we're looking at, how we want to live our lives. Maybe. Yeah.
And do you want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're pregnant?
Significant, no, but I don't. I'm not gonna lie. I've always thought that I would want to step out the house and just to do something that I'm not just twiddling my thumbs at home.
Yeah,
So
but is your money going to make a market
no, I
difference?
really hope not.
All
No.
right. So at 20, so in honesty, at 29 years old,
Hmm.
how are you going to go about finding a man who makes the kind of money you're talking about and becoming his wife?
Hmm. So, like I said, I have been watching your videos. I have just started seeing a therapist.
Okay.
I have made sure that I've kept in good contact with my dad. So my parents divorced a while ago, but I do, I get my dad's advice about the guys I date.
Okay.
I try my best to get advice from men. I know that a lot of the time we get a lot of really ill-fated advice from like other women. So that's what I've been trying to do. I make sure I work out um,
How many times a week are you working out?
4 times a week.
Okay. How tall are you?
I'm 5'7".
Dress size?
I'm a size 6,
And how much did you weigh last time you weighed yourself?
154.
5'7", 154. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna say that that needs to come down.
Really?
Oh yes.
My
Um,
BMI is right on track.
who?
My BMI, body mass index, yeah.
Okay. Um, I'm a professional image consultant, right?
Hmm.
All right. So, what is the average height for a man in North America or United States? Which is the same in Canada.
No, of course. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie and say I know it. I don't know the
Oh,
average height.
okay. Average height is around about 5 foot 9.5, 5 foot 10. How much does he weigh?
I would say about 200 pounds.
Absolutely wrong.
Oh, how much does he weigh?
168 pounds.
Really?
The
Oh
average
wow.
woman in North America
Hmm.
70 years ago was 5'4". She
Hmm.
was 120 pounds. The average height of a man in North America back at those times was the same height. He was 165 pounds. There's a 45-pound difference between healthy men and healthy women. Okay?
Okay.
So move that to 2015. Man's weight has jumped up from 165 pounds to a whopping 168 pounds. He's gained a massive 3 pounds in 70 years. For
Hmm.
ridiculous, a massive 3 whole pounds. But women have gone from from 120 pounds to 160 pounds. Women have jumped up in weight. And that's across the board. And you change it for African American women, it jumps up to almost 190. So at 5'7", at
Hmm.
54 pounds.
Hmm.
All right. You weigh about as much as a man would at your height, healthily. Um, let's see, and that's going to be an issue, because men look at women as potential. When
Yes.
you get married, let's say you were to get married and get pregnant and have a child, how many pounds do you think you would gain in your pregnancy?
A healthy weight is about 20.
But healthy, but how typical is healthy?
Very true. But yeah, no, you're
How,
right.
so it's 30 to 50.
Oh,
30 to
oh,
50 for the first child.
oh, okay.
30 to 50 for the first child. And does all that weight tend to come off? Not likely. It's late in your 20s, but it certainly doesn't come off child after child after child. 3 children, you're looking at putting on about 30 to 40 pounds after that third kid. So what would the end result of a husband could expect from a woman who's your rough weight? That's almost 200 pounds.
Hmm.
But see, if you were down at a healthy weight,
It gives me a little bit more wiggle room, literally.
right? So I don't understand why so many of you ladies today just simply have allowed the the concept of women's body weight and things to just get so out of whack, and it actually hampers. Uh, well, I'd put it that way. Jordan, unmute yourself.
Hi, how are you?
Hello.
Hi.
So, what do you think on the topic?
Um, in regards to like what I bring to the table.
Yes, you can stay on it as well.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Well, just a little context. I'm 21 and I currently attend Emory,
Okay.
in Atlanta. So I think what I bring to the table personally is I'm very well connected. I have a very magnetic energy, able to network well, very adaptable, strong emotional intelligence, very graceful and very put together. And I definitely think my environment has contributed to that. So for
Okay.
me, that's what I think I bring.
Okay. You said you're 21.
Yes, no, 20. Sorry, I'm turning 21 in December though.
Okay. Yeah, you're young for this. So, um, are you wanting to be married and have children and all that stuff?
I do.
Do you want to work after you're pregnant?
Um, no, I don't think so. Not after I'm pregnant. I want to homeschool, so that's kind of my
Okay.
aspiration. Yeah.
All right. So So here in Atlanta, were your mother and father married?
They were for 13 years.
So, are you actively dating anyone?
I'm not.
All right. So the network you're talking about and things like that. I don't know what you're referring to, but at 20 years old, um, have you not wanting to work? That's a certain caliber of man.
Hmm.
Do you date older men?
I have.
Okay, you have. And how old is the oldest man
Mhm.
you've dated?
Um, let's see, 24, 25.
Ain't old, baby girl.
Well, old for me at the time.
See. I mean, do you know how much money would a man have to make to be able to support a wife like you in Atlanta with 3 children and you not working?
Well, see, the thing is, I do want to work.
Oh,
But after I have kids, then no, I don't want to work ideally.
so
But
so it's still not working. Understand how the math
right,
works. Even if you want to work for a year or two, once the
yeah,
kids start, you want to stop. So it means not working.
right.
So just go ahead and say I don't want to work. That's the way the math works,
I don't want to.
huh?
I don't want to.
You don't want to work.
No, not. Well, I do, but at the same time, I really want to homeschool.
All
So.
right. So what I'm saying is, you ladies need to stop being multi-minded. You need to just
Mhm.
stand on what it is. I don't want to work. All right. Then how many kids? 3, 2.
Yes, 3.
All right. So what area of Atlanta? If you lived in Atlanta, what area of Atlanta would you like to live in?
Um, Let me see. I
You're 5'7" and 145 pounds is the average size of a boxer. Godiva.
ooh,
So just understand, boxers are around 145 pounds, 140, 145 pounds. So go ahead. I mean, you don't want to live in Bankhead, do you?
oh, absolutely
East
not.
Point. So let's get to it.
I would like to stay somewhere between Buckhead and
Yeah. Right.
the Emory area.
Right. Right. And how much would a man need? What do you think a man would need to make to afford to live in Buckhead? Have a wife.
Um,
Hold on. Have a wife that stays home and can homeschool 3 children.
yeah.
How much money
Let's
does he
see.
need to make annually?
I'm gonna just say like 400.
How many 24-year-old men do you make $400,000 legally?
Um, I know maybe like one, but definitely not very many.
Legally?
Yes.
What does he do for a living?
He works at like a venture capital firm, but he's like the program director. So
At 24.
yes. Sorry, 26. But in that area.
Yeah. Okay. So, you see the first thing? You, you, you said you were dating an older, but the kind of money you're talking about, how old do you think a man needs to be to make $400,000 a year? Average
Um,
age.
oh, I'm gonna say like 50.
In his 40s.
Oh, 48,
In his late in
47.
his late 30s, 40s, or 50s. So,
Okay.
okay. So, are you looking to marry a man who's 40?
Mm, honestly, I wouldn't mind.
See, this is that settling talk. See, you wouldn't mind because he has the money, but it wouldn't be your pick.
No, I don't think that's it. I genuinely, I feel like since I was a little bit younger, I've
Uh,
always kind of talked to older men, so it wouldn't be like out of the ordinary for that to also happen.
right. But so do older men approach you?
Yes.
But you've never dated one.
No.
So listen to what you're saying. I want a lifestyle that a man would have to be at least in his 40s to afford. And then he's going to have to make himself in the top 5% of earners in the country.
Hmm.
I mean, to make $400,000 a year, you're in the top 5%, almost the top 1%. You're talking about,
Right.
I know men that make that kind of money. You know, um, I don't even want to get into my past, but anywho, um, and yet you've never dated one.
No.
So, what do you bring to a man of that age and that level of income, that level of maturity, gravitas? Uh,
Hmm.
what do you bring to him?
Mm, well, the things I mentioned before, but
Okay, but
I
I'm gonna
think for
just say
that
I'm gonna just
age,
be honest though.
I don't have.
I need to let me just ask it. I mean, somebody my age, what do I need with your network at 20 years old?
Mm,
You need my network. I don't need your network.
that's true. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
And that is the questions I'm trying to get you ladies to start asking.
Right.
See, ma'am, you're asking for an extremely small fraction of men, and why do you need that?
Hmm.
Cause you want to homeschool?
I mean, the thing is, I genuinely don't feel like I need that, but
But yeah,
I think putting
yeah,
into
no, ma'am, no, no,
context.
ma'am. You do need it if you want to
Hmm.
live in Buckhead.
Hmm.
See, what it is you're saying is you didn't say I would be all right living in you know in the lower income part of town. You want a upper middle class or lower upper class lifestyle. I mean, you expect to own a car, right?
Hmm.
What kind of car would you expect to drive you and your children in?
Um, maybe like a Porsche truck.
I mean, you're laughing, but here's the thing. I need you ladies to start asking yourself, what do I bring to a man who's making $400,000 a year, can afford to put me in a house in the neighborhood that I'm in right now, driving a
Hmm.
Porsche truck? What do you bring? Because that's what you want. And I'm cool with that's what you want. And I'm not
Hmm.
judging it. What I'm asking you is what value do you bring to him?
Right.
And what these first two calls have kind of shown is you ladies don't really do that a good job at understanding what a man at the level you want wants.
Hmm.
So how do you expect that to? So how do you? So Godiva, I'm gonna unmute you. How do you expect? How do you? Because Godiva, you were saying that I'm good at basically inspiring and giving and loving, but how
Mhm.
do you guys expect to get chosen first?
Okay. Well, I expect to get chosen first because I'm teachable. I've always been teachable. I'm a very quick learner. And yeah.
Why didn't the guy? Why didn't you say you dated a high value man before?
Mhm.
Why didn't he keep you?
To be honest, he had been divorced and it kind of went topsy turvy when it came to talks of like marriage. One minute he was serious, the next minute wasn't. And so I had to walk away from that situation.
Oh,
Mhm.
you left him after how long?
It was about a year and a half
But you knew he was divorced within the first month of dating.
on the first date.
So they can't be. So you left him because he.
No,
Okay.
so what I'm saying is basically on our first date, he let me know like he had been married previously, and I thought it was very honest because a lot of people shy away from telling you those kind of things. So,
No, no, they don't.
oh, really?
No, they don't.
Oh,
My
okay.
group is. I got 600 people in the group, and every man in there wants to be married.
No, no, no. I'm saying that he had been married,
I
but he
get.
was,
But we
and he
don't.
was
And
saying,
I have men. Basically, men who want to marry aren't shy about talking about marriage or divorce or anything.
okay,
What you're
Well,
kind of
yeah.
showing is that you don't really you have some preconceived notions about, because you said men are this way, men are that way, and basically
Oh,
sounds
no,
to
no,
me
no.
is, hold on, listen, just
Okay.
because um, men who want to marry know they want to marry and they go into it. Did he say he wanted to get married, or did he say he was open to marriage?
He said he wants to be married again.
All right, he wanted to be married again, and were you guys dating one another exclusively?
In the beginning, no. But within the second or third month, it became exclusive.
All right, and he wanted to get married. Did he say he wanted to marry you?
Nope. That's what I'm saying. I just kind of realized, for him at least, I can't speak for every man. I just started to realize it wasn't as serious as I thought it was. And I kind of felt like the rebound, like he had just gotten divorced.
All right, ma'am. Let me stop you, because again, this is
Mhm.
on you. Because if the man said he wanted to be married and you
Mhm.
guys weren't dating exclusively for the first 2 or 3 months, why did you date a man exclusively 2 or 3 months later who did not want to marry you? Who said he wanted to be married?
Mhm. Well, I can honestly say that I made a mistake with that relationship. I
Well,
wasted a
that's
lot.
fine. But what I'm trying to get you to also understand is I don't think you really get. He may have been a higher earner,
Mhm.
but that doesn't necessarily put him into the category of the guys I'm talking about. And at the end of the day, I'm not really hearing that you're teachable in these things, but that's still, I mean, are you openly out there trying to compete and get a husband?
Yes, pre-COVID, I would make sure that I go out and everything like that, get dressed up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is why, but you're gonna have to do more.
Yes, I've
You're gonna
been
have to do.
looking.
You're gonna have to do much more because you're.
Danger
I
Oh,
Zone!
got
I
a
know.
I got a 20-year-old woman on, and she's, if that's her picture, she's very attractive.
Mhm.
That's your
No.
competition. Y'all still talk about the same caliber of man,
Mhm.
and I don't really sense the sense of urgency with a lot of women, black women in particular, about finding this elite level husband that you all seem to want. And honestly, you don't even seem to know him. He's just a wallet and a fantasy, but I'm willing to talk about it. Uh, you can speak, Jordan. Hold on. Let me go ahead and put you guys. Hold on. Let me put you two on mute for a second, because we're gonna.
Sure.
Hold on. Let me go ahead and mute you for a second. Um. Uh. Ama, go ahead. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, so my question is like how important is the weight component as far as being high value?
The weight.
Yeah.
A
For
woman's
example,
weight.
if you,
A woman's weight.
yeah, yeah, like for example, if you have other qualities.
Well, let me ask you this: how old are you?
I'm 24.
224. All right. How important is the money component for a man?
It's important.
How important?
Um, like very important.
If you had to rank it in order of, if you had to rank it, how high up would it be?
Number one.
That's where the weight is.
Okay. I just noticed that when you talk about the weight, you don't have like a range for the weight, but like
Yeah, I
a
do.
healthy weight
Yeah, I do.
is a
Yeah, I
range.
do have a. I have a range. It's something and below, because I'm talking about the kind of men women say they want. Don't deal with overweight women.
Okay. Um, but specifically, I was referring to the caller that called before, who was 5'7" and 150
You
something
need to be. You
pounds.
need to be under 145 pounds as a woman, regardless as to your height. 140, 145 pounds. Is that you, or do you weigh more than that?
No, that's me. But
Huh?
I'm short. I'm in that range, but I'm short.
Okay. So why are you, if you're in your range, why are you concerned about other women's range? I'm curious.
Oh, because you always say that, well, I'm 5'4", and you
Uh huh.
always say that, like, at my height, you should
100.
be 120,
Yep.
but I'm over this amount. I'm 140,
Okay.
but I think I still look good.
You can think. Okay. What does your husband say?
I'm not married.
All right. See, one thing you ladies gonna have to get your mind around is you want men to earn, but you want it to be flexible on your beauty and your weight. It's not. And I get dinged for saying it. Oh, and I hear people pulling out, well, this Serena Williams. Look, man, uh, the smaller the woman, the bigger the ring. And
I
the
don't think,
okay, you
sorry,
don't.
not to cut you off.
But okay, but see, I get it. You don't have to like it, and you don't have to. Whatever you think, ma'am. I put it to you this way: the guys I know, my clients, the men at this level, this is what they're saying too. This is what they marry. And why is it that you want to go back and forth about a pound or two here? Why don't you just get in the gym and lose the weight and give men what they say they want? If you
It's
want a
not
man
that
at that level,
easy.
huh?
It's not that simple.
I don't. Well, guess what? Do you want to? Do you? Would you like to marry a man that's earning $300,000 or more, so you don't have to work and have kids and work from home?
Yeah, I think everybody will like that.
Well, guess what, ma'am? How easy do you think that is? I guarantee. Let me tell you something else, young lady. Men at that level would gladly switch places with you and simply lose weight and be fit and attractive and easy to get along with versus having to get out there and fight with the sharks. This is entitlement. It's not easy. So
Hmm.
that's why the women that do
Okay.
it can get it. I mean, do you understand? I'm trying to be reasonable, but do you understand what you're saying? It's not easy. So push
Okay.
away from the table, exercise, or marry a man that you know. Well, those see, these are your options. And what do you ladies think about what I just said? Because I want to have you ladies talk about this stuff too, and ask the questions that you guys want to ask. And I'll be willing to ask. Jordan, you can unmute, and Emma, you can unmute.
Okay.
What do you think about what she was saying?
About it being
Um, Go ahead.
Yeah, because I have heard women say, it it the weight requirement is restrictive, and
uh,
pretty much
Um,
it's not fair. It's not easy. Go ahead.
I think, well, and I'm 20, so it might be, my advice might be taken seriously, but I think you should want to do it for yourself, because so many diseases just come from like being overweight alone. Um, so I personally think it's just about like taking care of your own body. That's just me. I like to eat healthy. I like to exercise because it makes me feel good, but it doesn't hurt that it also, helps men too. So that's my opinion on it.
Godiva?
I definitely agree with what she was saying. I think that was Jordan. I definitely agree with what she's saying. Honestly, treating yourself well and just going the extra step. Like once you start getting into a whole routine of working out and everything like that, it just changes your outlook on so many other things. And I feel like anytime when I'm eating like really bad food, that's when I'm like not my full potential. So I can't.
Okay, okay, but I have. I think you said you're like 157, and another young lady said she was like 140. And the thing is, um, even if you look back in the 70s, you're all too young, but go back and look at an actress called Pam Grier. She was a dress size 8, and she was hella voluptuous. People talk about Thelma on Good Times. She was a dress size 6 or 4 or 6. you ladies gonna have to get the fact that if okay, just like I said, money or income is tops for you because you want a man who's earning enough money to where you have the ability to work or not work and all these other kind of things. Well, if you're not you aren't going to budge off that, or that's important to you. What I'm really hearing from you ladies is you don't really feel like you should have to give a man what they want. It comes across as entitlement in the sense that women tell men what they think they deserve by their attitude and their appearance.
I can stand to lose some weight. I've been trying to work out, so I can't really say that this is just my own personal journey that I
Okay.
wanted to lose a little bit more. So I can't
You
really
wanted to weigh more?
no, I wanted to lose a little bit more weight, but I am a little bit curvier. So I just thought that it wasn't that bad, but yeah.
It's here's the thing. You got to look at what men pick. See, go look at men who are successful or with money, and look at their wives. And you can't look at wives they get when they were in their early 20s and they go through. Look at a second wife.
Yeah, it's
How often do you see second wives who are overweight? Second wives are usually young, hot, right? Yes.
No, you're absolutely right. I know men are very visual, so
Well, yeah, and that's our prerogative. See, the thing is, there was a time when you ladies used to accept it and say, "Well, shit, if I want that kind of a man, I got to do it." Now it's almost like, well, pfft, I think I'm fine. All right, but you're not. But you're not getting. But it's not getting you the outcome, meaning a relationship or a husband. It's not getting you what you want.
yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and unmute. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
So not to discredit anything that you're saying, but what do you think about the studies that have been done that has shown that men actually prefer curvier women as
Well,
opposed to
you
um
can't discredit what I'm saying because my clients are the ones who get to pick. You can find a study that will substantiate your point of view all day long. But the reality is, if you look at men who are successful, wealthy, well off, look at what they pick. And see, my problem with what you're saying is you're still going to what, but yeah, but it shouldn't be that way. Honestly, let me ask you: do you think it's fair that you have to have a weight standard and a beauty standard?
no, I don't think it's fair.
Well, then guess what? Buy a dog, because that is an incredibly entitled position. You think someone should have to get out and go conquer the world, sit you down so you never have to work, and all you got to do is be a certain maintain to be a beautiful wife for him? That, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you don't have. Here's the beautiful thing: you don't have to. You don't have to do anything. But what do you think the likelihood you're going to get a man, the kind of man you say you want?
Probably not very likely.
Okay, and then if that's the case, and we plan out life all the way, and you die alone, or you live unhappy because you had to settle for something you didn't want, you can't blame men. Because you will say at 24 years old, I had a conversation with a guy and he tried to tell me, but I was too stubborn, too entitled to do what was necessary to get what I wanted, and I got what I got. I mean, that's what men see. It'd be no different than if I said, "Hey, man, you want to date a dime, you want an Instagram model, you want a baddie, right? Great, but all you want to do is work second shift at Walmart. and you want to live in a Cracker Jack's apartment driving a beat up truck, you would say, well, yeah, he doesn't deserve that. He wouldn't deserve a baddie, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
Or would
that's
he?
correct.
Well, so what you're showing is that women who share your opinion are of no value to successful, high value men.
Hmm.
And all ladies need to ask, what do men want? Joanne, go ahead.
Um,
Joanne, go ahead.
yeah. So I agree with both of you guys. I think for the weight, it depends on your body fat percentage and your composition. So like sometimes like if you're like more busty,
Well, it does, but that's why the dress size is always there. I mean, there's nothing that says 120 pounds. It's a dress size, roughly a dress size 2 or 4, growing up to a 6. Being larger than a 6, if you're extremely busty, then stuff off the rack isn't made for you. But the ultimate point is less. Don't go up. Don't go up. Go down. Because you don't want a man to go down in income. You want him to go up.
yeah, I agree. I just feel like it's how you look overall. So if
Hmm.
you look like, slim and nice, then,
So why is it that you ladies? Because I think you're being honest, and women do feel like it's unfair that they have to maintain a weight and a beauty standard. Where did that come? Where does that come from?
Am I mute?
Huh?
Oh, I'm not on mute. Am I? No.
Nobody's on mute.
Oh, okay. I would I think my opinions are kind of unpopular because I am in the danger zone. I do think that it's just the double standard that we both have to kind of, it's like a social contract, you know? So we expect men to have money, so men expect the women to be beautiful. So I understand it. It's an unwritten rule, so I accept it. I don't.
Well, I don't necessarily think it's a double standard. It's just a standard. I think it's what men should get for making themselves special.
No, because I know a lot of women will complain, well, if a guy's as big as me, like what's the issue? And I'm saying basically, well,
If a guy, what do you say? I don't. If a guy is as big as you, then what?
no, so I'm saying like a lot of women will be like, well, why is it that fat men are always like they're looked at as sex symbols, but like a fat woman isn't? And I'm
Because he's not fat and broke.
no, that's exactly what I'm agreeing with you.
Because he's not fat and broke. Because fat broke men are not looked at as sex symbols.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying that there is like it is like a double standard, but at the same time it's fair.
It is. It's. See, we get that double standard is trying to make us equal. You and I are not equals. I am supposed to produce. You're supposed to be attractive. See, if a man were to be the pretty, attractive, fit mate that sat at home while the wife went out and earned, he would be a house husband or a kept man, and society would look at him some way. If you were that, society wouldn't blink one bit. But the thing is, and in particular, this seems to be a real sticking point for black women. And if you don't want to, you would rather. I don't understand why a lot of you are got your heels dug in the ground, that you'd rather get up, go to college, go into debt, and have to go work for the rest of your life, buy a dog or a cat, instead of getting your ass in the gym, staying fit, feminine, and friendly, rocking your own hair, and being what a man says he wants. Because here's a news flash for you, ladies. White women are coming after your successful black men. Latina women are coming after them hard, and they have all the strengths that brothers like. They are curvy. They got the hips and the butt and the legs and everything. Y'all got competition. So
Yeah.
while you
Yeah.
sit back talking about you ain't gonna do nothing, Latinas are like, that's just fine.
No, you're absolutely right. No, you're
Yeah, I definitely can like attest to that. Like, especially going to Emory, that it really is that serious for them. So
Emory is doing what?
I know I'm just saying like going to Emory, like, it's predominantly white. So I'm just saying like I've seen that and like
So so and what ends up happening is when brothers end up dating up one third of the okay of the men who marry and have bachelors or higher, okay, of the men who marry, of the black men who marry that have bachelors or higher, one third of them are marrying non-black women. I don't care how you slice it. That's men who have a higher earning potential. The question is why. And while there's no facts to support it, I do see correlation, if not causation. As weight of women has increased, marriages have decreased. And if you ladies can see that we live in an open society now and there's no more real taboos on IR dating, why are you content to let somebody come in your yard and take your dog? That's what I don't understand.
no.
Why y'all? Go ahead.
I feel like sometimes, like when we're having this discussion, I feel like a pick Misha, but like at the end of the
Stop.
day,
Stop right there. Who made up Pick Misha?
a lot of black women do.
What do these black women look like?
I don't know how they look.
How old are these black women?
They're past the danger zone.
And how do they look like?
They're not cute.
So a pick Misha is a word to keep you what?
Oh, of course, single. I understand that.
But so you need to say I am. You need to get a shirt that says I'm a pick Misha. Pick Misha proud. You need to get a pick Misha proud shirt. Go
not
ahead.
sure. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah, I mean, you guys can see one another. I got you guys on here so you can talk. I mean, I'm here to talk with you.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think it's a lot of things that make black women think it's okay. Um, I genuinely don't understand the psyche of it, but I guess because I've always been kind of small too, like it just seems natural for me to go ahead and start working out to maintain that. Um, but I really don't know. I don't know. And I think a lot of times, like, as far as what I've seen, like a lot of women will end up, getting into relationships where the man that they're with will make them feel comfortable with it, and then they'll just kind of completely let themselves go. And so that's even more detrimental
But let
because
me
then
ask you a
after that,
question. Let me ask you a question, Jordan. And I see you in the chat room, Aisha. The men that are with these women who let themselves go, okay,
yeah,
are these successful or high value men?
not in my opinion, no.
Hell no. So guess what? It's easier to keep you on the plantation with my broke ass if you fat.
That's true.
We're gonna talk about it. Is there okay? I think it's the culture in African American celebrates Nicki Minaj. Well, yeah, that's something you said. Aisha, how are you?
Hi, good. How are you? How are you guys doing?
Good, good.
Go ahead. You got the floor. What do you have for us?
I was just calling to chime in on the conversation here. I don't know. I kind of jumped in and I think you guys were in the middle of something. So,
Yeah, but what I do need you to do is I need you to mute the YouTube channel or noise in the background because I'm hearing background. So, how old are you? How about that? Let's introduce you to the group.
I am 31 years old.
All right. Are you married or single?
I'm single.
All right. Are you looking to get married or have a long-term committed relationship?
I am.
All right. So we're talking about what value do women bring to the successful or high value men most women say they want. So that's kind of where we got started. But you can go ahead and jump in anywhere you want to or ask a question.
Okay, I think like I don't think I have all the answers, but I think some of the things that a woman can bring to a high value man are I think when you're talking about a high value man, you're thinking about someone who like at this point is either moving through the upper echelons of society or like has a desire to. So I think that having a woman by your side that can elevate your status or help elevate your status or comes with like some skills or attributes that complement what he has or like some pedigree or something like other than like I
Okay.
think cooking and
So let me
cleaning.
let me get this though. So yes, helping him navigate or move through, but how would he know that you are the person to help him do that if he's already doing it?
um that's a good question. I don't.
Exactly. And see, that's the thing. See, most of the time I hear women talking about men. You're talking about men who are dusty, busted, crusty, and are incompetent. I'm talking about men who are competitive, productive, and rolling just fine, and they could benefit from the presence of a woman. But how are you going to benefit him? Because his ends are meeting like a mug. He's already building. He's already got his network going. What value do you bring to a man who does not need you but may want you? Or may want a woman. How does he know he needs to get you? Um, Go ahead. You got it? Let me go ahead and introduce Columbia. Let me get it. That's the kind of overall question. How are you, Colombian? Go ahead. How are
Hi,
you?
can you hear me, Kevin?
Yeah, I can. We got several people on, so there's a button down there that says shows to raise your hand. Everybody's go ahead. You can go ahead, introduce yourself, and ask us your question.
Hi, I'm Colombiana. I might be young, but I'm
Yep.
22.
All right. You're not the
Um,
youngest on the panel. Go ahead.
okay, from the Midwest, and with value, I definitely do agree with inspiration, influence. Speaking life into the minute you're dating, husband, fiance, etc. Definitely pays out with just allowing him to know better, to do better, even though he might be surrounded by men of that caliber, but just having a woman to stand by that and influence him, I
Okay.
believe that's the greatest value.
Okay. Let me go ahead over to Joanna. Joanna, you're not connected. Um, and I don't see. Let me do this. Hold on, just a second. I don't trust that. So, who is this person that says, "Who are you?" Steph. That's a man's name. We don't do that one. Hold on just a second, ladies. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Hello? Hello?
Yes, hello?
Steph?
Yes, sir. Hello, how are you?
Yeah, Steph. I didn't know if it was Steph or Stephanie. What you
It's
got?
Stephanie. I just made the account really quickly to
Okay.
chime
Well,
in.
all right. So go ahead. What do you got for us?
Well, it's a few things I would like to weigh in on. Let me start off by saying that I'm a Black girl. I'm 22 years old. I'm obtaining my associate's degree here in January, and I have the whole shebang, I would think. I think I'm a pretty well put together. I'd say I'm a eight, a solid eight. Bring a lot to the table in terms of communication skills, networking, things of that nature. And I would like to start off with the whole weight situation. Like, I've never really had any complaints from high caliber men about I'm now 180, going into 190 pounds. And I do think that it's based on the composition of your body. I wear a size small in shirts. And usually I shop at places like Fashion Nova or Forever 21 because I have very big thighs and very big butt,
All right.
as some
Let me
people
hold on.
women.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Let me stop you
Yeah.
right there.
Mhm.
Would you recommend to young black women that
Yes.
they should be your weight?
Um, well, it depends. I have a lot of Black women around
No,
me
no,
that,
no, no,
or
no. I
Black
mean, it was a
men.
very direct question, ma'am. If you
Yes.
saw a young black woman who's 12, 13 years old, would you say, young sis, you should try to become my weight?
Black girls,
Yes.
actually, I have a lot, like I was saying, I have a lot of black girls around me that look like me. So
I
yes, I
asked you
will.
about young. Okay, how tall are
Yeah.
you?
I am 5'8" ish.
Okay, so 5'8", almost 190 pounds. So you
Yes,
weigh
sir.
more than a man.
Yes, some men. Yes.
Okay, and where in the animal kingdom do the females typically outweigh the men?
I don't know. I don't follow those types of things.
Well, it's not healthy. Basically, what I'm saying is it's unhealthy. And you just because you're saying in your anecdotal experience, you haven't had any issue with high earning men having an issue with it, I'm saying that it's not healthy. And the things you're talking about, I'm completely against. I think it's a detriment to black women. I think it's a
Okay.
detriment to pass it on to younger black women. And when I hear you say you would tell a young black woman that they should be all right with being that size, I cannot support that.
Yes, but I would like to also say, like, I work out like every day actually, and I'm pescatarian as well.
Okay, ma'am, but so are you saying
Mhm.
that almost 190 pounds at 5'8" is what a female? You think that occurs naturally?
Sometimes I would say
No, no,
so.
no, ma'am. Not sometimes. In the main, in the main, you're saying that women who are your height should be your weight.
Some of them, yes.
I didn't say some, ma'am. Okay, I'm going to try this one more time. I'm going to ask you to have. See, the rest of the women on the panel have tried to at least be honest. And I'm trying to
Hmm.
see if you're going to be honest or if you're just going to stick to your position, which you can. But are
Hmm.
you saying that women should be 5'8" and 190 pounds and be just fine with that?
I'm sorry, I'm not. I really do think that it's okay, as so long as you're healthy. I
Okay.
really do.
Now, when you say healthy, um,
Hmm.
now when was the last time you? How old are you?
I'm 22.
22 years old. What is the health prognosis for a woman of your height and weight in the next 20 years?
In the next 20 years, I'm not sure.
You might want to check that out while you're sitting down double downing on this.
Yeah, I do honestly believe that there are some women. I see a lot of women in the comment section, and I really do believe that some of us are
Ma'am,
literally.
you could believe what you like, but human beings, human
Hmm.
females are females and human males are males. The medical science is in and on this. You can believe what you like, but you are an unhealthy weight. And this is one of the things that plagues the black community. That black women like yourself refuse to accept
Hmm.
that you are unhealthy weight, regardless as to where the fat landed and whether you're happy with it. It's unhealthy. And ladies, what I need you to understand is this is what far too many sisters are doing, saying, I am going to be this unhealthy weight and I'm not going to do anything. You have to accept it or nothing. And brothers are saying, I'd rather have nothing. Now, that may not be your experience, ma'am, but I talk to too many women. I talk to many women who are unhealthy weights and single. And my issue with what you said is you would tell young women that this is something to be all right with.
Yes, sir.
All
I
right.
mean, I hang around plenty of women that are, I
Okay,
can.
well, I can't support that one. So I'm going to go ahead and go on to the next person because I do have to get to some other people. Colombiana, go ahead and unmute yourself. Go ahead. What's going on?
Am I on?
Yeah, you are.
Oh yes. So to chime in on 5'8", I'm 5'8" and I model. And I'm 130.
Mm-hmm.
So for 190, I definitely have to agree that's not healthy.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I didn't need to get pejorative or anything like that. This is a conversation that needs to be had among black women. You guys, in my opinion, you're going to have to reestablish what looks good and what is healthy. Because while the average weight of everyone in this country has increased, the impact has been harder on the black community. It troubles me that 1 in 4 black women will ever marry in their lifetime. So if it's already that low, anything we can do to increase the odds should be something we should look at. And I think if you're around where what I tend to see, especially at the middle class or below, you tend to see men who are smaller than their mate, their girlfriend. Thin guys, big women. This is all out of whack. But anyway, I don't want to dwell too much on the weight portion. I mean, I appreciate the caller coming in. Jasmine, I'm going to go ahead and let you say something you have to say. We got some, and I'm going to open it up and let you ladies talk to one another. Jasmine, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing good.
Good. I see you, Joanna. You're next.
So I didn't know that you were gonna, I watch you all the time. So I've never actually been on a Zoom meeting with you. So I'm actually shocked that I am. I would have gotten on camera. So
That's okay.
kind of nervous. Okay, so my whole thing is because I heard you talk before about single moms kind of being kind of, I guess, under low value, I guess. So I guess I'm just trying to see basically where I fall. I do meet the criteria of being between, a size 2. I'm actually a 0.
Okay.
Very petite. And I had my son at a very, very young age,
Okay.
very young. And since then,
so basically
yeah.
the question is, how does being were you married or unmarried?
Obviously unmarried because I was
underage. Okay. Well, so how does that affect your overall options?
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to see, because since being an adult, obviously I'm not a dumb girl. I graduated high school early. I work in the IT field.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this then.
Mm-hmm.
And your name is Jasmine.
Yes.
Let me go ahead and meet some of the other people so we can have a one-on-one.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you think it should impact?
I don't think so.
No. I'm saying, do you think it should impact your value on the open market?
No, I don't, because I feel like I carry myself very well. I keep up with myself. I constantly work out.
So I
wish I could show you a picture of me.
I get it. I mean, I get it. There are some very attractive women, but
yes.
What you're basically saying is, I don't think that the fact that I reproduced and made a life with another man should impact any of my options with men, period.
No, because this is something that happened when I was very young.
Ma'am, but okay. You want to have the conversation? I'll have it
yes.
with you. How old are you?
24.
All right. So, do you have custody?
Yes, I do. I take very good care of my son.
Ma'am?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So any man who deals with you, if he were to marry you, would have to, you're a package deal, right?
I mean, I guess you can say that.
There's no guess, unless you're planning on giving the child away.
No. So? Okay.
See, far too many of you ladies think the world should to give you, it's like, well, the world does, listen to what I'm about to say. The world does not owe you or me understanding. That's the hardcore reality of it. When you had a child, what age were you? I don't know what happened to her. She muted herself. Unmute yourself.
Sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened, but yeah, I had my son when I was 14, so my son is currently 10.
All right, ma'am. So the reality of it is, yes, ma'am, your child should have a cost. It does. And no matter how nice you are, how great your child is, it does cost you. And you need to make peace with that, because any man who dates you is going to have to deal with a 10-year-old boy from another man. That is another. Is his father in his life at all?
Oh, he died.
Okay. Well, sorry to hear that, but the child is still another expense. He's been. I don't understand why you women feel like kids shouldn't cost you anything. That doesn't make any sense to me. But you can try to explain it to me.
Um, I mean, I can see if I had like multiple children by different men, but it's just like one, you know?
But you keep downplaying it like it's no big deal. It's just one. I had it when I was young. It's not a pet, ma'am. I mean, and uh, do you have your own place?
Yes, I do.
Are you getting any kind of government assistance?
No, I don't. I've never had government assistance. Like I said, I work in IT.
Okay.
I provide for myself.
Well, great, ma'am. But the reality is still this: on the open dating market, there are women who have everything you have and no children. Why should a man pick, all things being equal, why should a man go pick a woman with a full person that comes with them versus making his own family? You're not looking at it from
So,
the man. You're
no,
not
I
looking at it from the
understand.
man's standpoint. You're looking at it from what you want. And far too many of you ladies, not only do you not bring the value that men want at the level of the man you want them to accept a bad deal.
I guess the only deal is my kid. I have everything else.
But it is okay. Well, here's the thing: you're 30. You're 24.
No, 24.
Well, guess what? In 8 years, he'll be 18 out of your house. Then start. But it is going to cost you, and especially, it sounds like you have a pretty nice. You have a pretty nice job.
Yeah, I work in IT.
Okay, I don't know. That means a lot of things. But here's the thing. I'm assuming you're going to want a man who's making at least what you make or more.
Yeah, prefer an engineer.
Oh, all right. And how much would you like a man to make?
I mean, he doesn't have to be rich. I
How
mean,
much would you like a man
80,
to make? 80.
80,000 a
Exactly. So you
year
want a
is
man
pretty
who's
good.
so you want a man that's 15 out of 100. Run the numbers, engineer. You want a man that's in the top 15% of earners, and yet you want him to accept a woman with a child when he is in the top 15%, where he's in a group that all women tend to want. It affects your value, ma'am. And I think you know it. You just don't like it, and you cannot change it. See, what we were talking about earlier, panel, is weight. See, you can change your weight. You cannot change the fact that you have a child, and it should cost you. It should cost you a lot, because a man coming in here, he's going to have to deal with you, and if he married you, he'd have to be stepfather to a fully 10-year-old plus boy.
Right.
Is he going to have full rights to discipline that child as if he was the biological father?
I mean, yeah, I mean, long as it's not abuse.
Oh, what do you mean? Okay, but see, therein lies the rub. It's
You
always
know,
going to. It's all. But see, the thing, therein lies the rub. It's always going to be your child. I've been a stepfather. It's a shitty deal.
so what,
I will
like,
say this.
what,
Here's what you do. You accept the fact that you got pregnant early,
and that's
and
fine, right?
so. But the thing is, until you stop being selfish and start looking at it from the man's standpoint, you can almost be assured you will never deal with a man worth a damn. You're coming at this from a selfish, entitled point of view, and I get it, because you're saying, I got young, I made a mistake, and I fought through, and I've made something of myself, and I'm a great person, and I have a great kid. I get it, ma'am. And all that's one, but there are women who have done all that and don't have a kid. It costs.
Okay, I can understand and accept that. So,
I got to get to the rest of the panel.
Okay, thank you.
Uh huh. Joanna, go ahead.
All right. Hi, Kevin.
Hey.
All right. So I've been watching a few of your shows for honestly maybe the past week or so.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of wanted to get your opinion on where I currently am in life and what I could do in the next steps forward to put myself in that position to meet someone.
Our ladies on the panel drinking wine. Got all the chocolate sisters on the panel. Okay. How old are you?
I'm 25.
25. Do you have any children?
No children.
Do you want to marry?
Yes.
All right. Do you want to be a? Do you want to? How many kids do you want?
Three, max four.
You know what's next? Do you want to stay at home or do you want to have to work?
I want to stay at home.
Every woman wants to stay at home with all these kids. See, let me explain something, ladies. When you do that, 72% of mothers in this country have to work full or part time. And always gonna be somebody with that damn smoke, that fire detector. Put a battery in that thing. 72%. And you're automatically saying, I don't want to do that. That means you're going to have a man who's earning the kind of money to put you in a safe neighborhood, a good school. Why do so many of you guys want such a rarefied man who is older? And but if that's what you want, here's what you're gonna have to do. 25. What value would you bring to a man that's 40 years old?
Well, with the other women that were speaking, I know you were saying the value that they were bringing would be after the fact that the guy has already chosen them, or
Well, no. I said that some of the things they had said was after the fact. There was nothing up front.
Okay. Well, for me up front, it would be, I could say I can potentially, I don't know where I'm ranked for most people, but I do get approached by certain guys on that status level, basically by my looks for the most part. And I know that I have a pretty pleasant aura and the way that I have a very calming demeanor, and I seem to have like a good positive.
Oh, Joanne, let me tell you something. If you do date a guy or talk to a guy on that level, that smoke detector could disqualify you. I'm not kidding. Is that your smoke detector? Date?
I'm in my parents' house. This is my
All right, well, all right. So you're 25 and you're easy to get along with and all these great things. Okay. Have you ever dated a man on that level?
I don't think the full package of a high value. I've had high earners. Sorry for the smoke detector. I've had high earners, but for the most part, my main relationships have been with guys around my age. And
okay, so that's where you've developed your relationship skills. So again, what do you? I'm trying to explain to you, ladies, what men of that status are looking for, and everything you guys have said is great, but it's not enough. It's not enough because every woman should be nice to get along with and this and that. What separates you from the competition? Because you're setting your sights extremely high. You want a man who's in the A or A plus category, but you're giving C level effort.
Okay. See, that's why I was asking, because once it gets to after the fact, I feel like I was raised by a Ghanaian woman, very traditional. So I do have a lot of.
What does your father do?
He is a pastor, actually. He's a prison minister.
And what does your mother do?
She's a nurse.
All y'all on this panel gonna have to work. Y'all need to get that in your mind. You're going to work just like your parents. Because the men you're talking about are, I'm sorry, they are, when I say they're the top 5%, that's without adjusting for race. And basically you and this beeping thing. And what you're all saying is, I'm a nice woman. I'm a good woman. Well, good women have to go to goddamn work every day. What you guys are offering is average. average, and that's not an insult. It's not an insult. But you're asking for men who are in the elite tier, and you're overlooking all. And what really troubles me is honestly, so many young women are looking at men that I will consider hit squad, high earners, not rich yet, in training. You're looking over men. You're 22, and there's a guy that's 25, and he's on his hustle and grind, but you can't see him. You're looking for the guy who already has the Bentley. You're looking for the guy who already has this or already has that. And I'm sorry, man, ladies, you're aiming far too high, and we need a readjustment in the black community because you're. I did a video about a month or so ago. You likely have already met Mr. Right, and you blew it. None of you guys want average guys or above average guys. You just want elite. So I get it, but you got to be an elite level. Let me give an example. I think everybody on the panel has gone to college. Okay, I'm fine with 70. Okay. I think everybody on this panel has gone to college, but you know damn well going to college, junior college, community college, state school, or whatever, is far different than going to Princeton, Harvard, Yale, Stanford. Well, because it takes more. If you want Princeton, Harvard, Yale caliber men and your state school women, junior college women, the imbalance is not out. This is not out of line with men. So let me get to the next person who hasn't spoken yet. Claudia, I'm going to get you in here next. Raise your hand if you have a question. Did you have a question, Columbiana? Go ahead. Are you okay? I'm gonna lower your hand. Okay, if you have a question, raise your hand. While I go ahead to get Claudia. Claudia, how are you?
Hi. Hi, Mr.
All right.
I'm nervous. I never called. I don't live in the USA, but I stumbled into your channel by accident a few weeks ago.
Okay.
And I'm amazed of how lost women are about marriage. I'm really amazed.
Okay.
I really agree. I'm a second wife.
Okay.
I married right after college. I was 24. My husband was 42 years old.
Okay.
We've been married for 21 years.
Now hold on. How do you out of college? 20 what?
No, I was. I finished school at 24,
Okay.
and I got married right after.
Okay.
And we've been married for 21 years.
Okay.
I'm 45 right now.
Okay.
And I think the value that women bring is their upbringing, the class, the act that you can provide men to make them more successful. Sorry, I'm kind of nervous.
That's okay.
It's I don't know how to explain it because English is not my first language. I'm Dominican. I live in the Dominican Republic.
Okay. So are you this is your second marriage or your first marriage?
No, this is my first marriage.
Okay, cool. But
I'm the second one.
right, and your husband was how old when you married him? Say again.
He was 42. 42 when I married him.
See, and what I've noticed
42.
What I noticed outside of this, it's not uncommon for women in their 20s to know to marry men in their 30s or 40s. They don't. What I understand from women in the Dominican and things like that, they really look at that as normal. So I'm trying to get women to understand that if you want a man that's an established man, you're gonna have to date marry a man that's older. So go ahead.
And I wasn't looking like for a high value man. We met by accident. He pursued me very hard, and he even waited for me to finish college. And really, I was taught that women, as soon as you marry a man, you have to work to make his life easier. let him focus on being successful so you can be successful. You have that is like a project, a future project that you're working on together.
Right.
And that's what I think women don't get.
Mm-hmm.
They see it in a selfish way.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is a partnership. You have to make his life easier so he can make the kind of earning that you want.
Okay, let me do this. Let me, Claudia. Let me put you on mute. I'm going to unmute the panel.
Okay.
Let me see. Who do I want to ask? Steph. What do you think? Steph, what do you think about what the caller had to say? Steph, I'm going to unmute you. What do you think about what she had to say?
I think that there's a direct difference between Caribbean women marrying high earning men and Black women specifically in America marrying high earning men. I think it was a beautiful story though. Hello?
I'm here. I'm letting you speak.
I think it was a beautiful story of the way that they met. That's very nice.
Well, what about what she said? What about what she said about the attitude towards her man?
I had chimed out for a second. I'm sorry I didn't get what she said about her man.
Yeah, how fortunate. Well, in reverse, she basically said, I don't understand what's going on with American women. That when American women seem to come at this thing from such a selfish standpoint. Your job is to basically support your husband, help your husband become successful so he can help you.
Yes.
Okay.
I completely agree. 112% agree.
Well, but now weren't we going back and forth about weight earlier?
Yes.
All right. See, what I noticed, ladies, is a difference in perspective and a difference in outcome. She's been married for 20 some odd years. And the channel's going crazy now because the men are like, thank God this, because when a woman who has her man is important to her vibe, mindset, it comes across in everything that she does, everything that she says, and men respond well to it. So it's not just about culture, race, Dominican, Caribbean. It's about giving men what they want. See, a man can become inspired by things like the last caller just mentioned. And honestly, when you give a man what he wants, all of a sudden the beauty part, yeah, you can put on some pounds because you having my babies. The femininity part, it's always going to be there. Men become a hell of a lot easier to deal with when they know that they have a woman that is on their side for them, not on my side for you. So
Hello.
Let me finish. And this is what men universally want. And what I need you ladies to understand, if you don't agree with it, buy a dog or go get a woman because it's not going to change. Go ahead.
I was just wondering what you meant by this is what men want universally.
Men universally want cooperative women who are on their side for the man, who is working to help her husband to become better, her man to become better for him, so she can benefit from it downstream.
I would say I completely agree.
Okay.
I completely agree.
Well,
yeah.
And that manifests itself in an attitude of what do you want and how can I give it to you? So a lot of things I've been going back and forth within the panel has been I had a woman sitting there talking about it. I should be no problem being almost 200 pounds. And I'm like, well, that's not the attitude to get a deal done. That's the attitude to become, a side chick. You may be fun at 22, but there ain't gonna be much fun at 40 years old.
Can I? Oh, okay.
Go ahead. I'm gonna get to Aisha. Go ahead if you had something to say, and I'm gonna get to Aisha.
Oh, I was saying that I'm not a side chick. I'm actually engaged at 22, and I've had several.
I didn't say you were a side chick. I said that's the attitude to become a side chick. If it's not for you, congratulations. But are you the one that was 190 pounds?
Yes, this is still me. Right. Yes, and
I
very
think,
happy with my body.
Good. And I think your attitude is immeasurably dangerous to black women. And the fact that you're too stubborn to say anything different, I'm glad you were on the panel so they could see it, so people could actually compare and contrast for themselves. Aisha, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say to Steph's point about, I guess, being a little on the heavier side.
That's not a little on the heavier side, ma'am. That's ridiculous. She's 190 pounds at 5'8". That's not a little. She's the size of an NFL player.
Okay. I was just having this conversation with a male friend of mine a little earlier this evening about how I think women kind of take this idea that men, especially black men, like a woman who's thicker and like carries a little bit more weight and a little bit more curves, and take it to a place where they don't realize that it's become unhealthy. And men will kind of encourage it. And I think that her like her views on that are kind of a result of that.
Well, I think I mean, come on. I mean, she's no longer on the panel, but I would almost guarantee she's not with an alpha male. There was a combative nature and a displeasing spirit. You're going to sit here and argue and say, well, yes, I would tell 13-year-old black women, go ahead and be 180 or 90 pounds, as long as it looks good. You're not walking around with pictures of your arteries on the outside. And the fact that you can't even get someone to say, it works for me, but I recognize that this is not something that should be done. I give those people no air. I let them hang themselves. So thank you for calling in. You will make lots of good content going forward. And I also want to say this. I understand a lot of women have been lied to, saying thick this, that, and it's put you in a position to where I thought brothers like this. I thought brothers like that. Now today you're saying you don't like this. I get it. Do what's going to be the best outcome for yourself. Being fit and feminine is going to lead a better quality of life, regardless if you're married or not. Women in my generation who were thick are miserable now because they're morbidly obese. Hip replacements, knee replacements, type 2 diabetes, all kind of health issues, heart and on medications. You don't live a good quality of life this way. So this thick stuff needs to stop. What I will do is, before we get out of here, I want to make sure that, because it's getting a little late and I've had a good show. I kind of like having women on a panel like this. If anybody has anything they want to say before we get out, do me a favor, raise your hand. If not, I will bid you ladies all a good evening. Raise your hand in the panel section if you have anything else you'd like to say before we get up out of here. But ultimately, while I'm waiting for them to do that, guys, I need you guys to understand something. That you get nowhere. We get nowhere individually. We have to figure out some way to for women to understand what the men who are out here, who are eligible men. And what I've tried to do with this high value thing is to let women understand how high you're shooting and how many eligible men you're just completely passing over to the fact that even if you were in proximity of the kind and caliber of man you're talking about, would he pick you? And if you're not, you're losing on several fronts. You're losing over here because you can't get this man, and you've dissed, or you've not dissed, but you've completely overlooked this guy. And here's the thing, ladies, these men know you're overlooking him, so when it gets around here, danger zone, then all of a sudden you start getting fined with $70,000 or $80,000. I'm gonna tell you, they feel some kind of way. No man wants to be a man. No man wants to be a guy that you settle for. So if you're in your early 20s, teens, early 20s, you need to adjust your standard to what you can arguably get. Your looks are what you can negotiate with. And if it's a plumber, an electrician, whoever, you know, my Aarons, my above average guys, my Gregs, my good old regular dudes, hey man, you need to stop trying to get these Henrys and these high earners and all this other kind of stuff, and make a life with somebody. Like I said, 72% of mothers in this country have to work. And I have nearly 100% of black women say they don't want to work. That is an untenable situation. Now, you say you don't want to work and you have to have a high earning man. Well, like I said, either you buy a dog or you go become a bartender and get your niche and Nash on. But you're not hurting anybody but yourself. Playing for the same team is not hurting anybody. Buying a dog and walking around like that's going to fulfill you ain't hurting anybody. As we get into this fall and cold season, we're going to have flu season and the next round of CB14. Come on, people. So I think this is a good show. I think I like the format. As the Godfather keeps pushing things forward, yeah, you know, got the call in, got the panel thing going. You know, it can be, we can have conflict in a respectful way. Shout out to all the callers and all the panelists. You don't have to get pejorative. You don't have to be insulting. I respect you as long as you respect me. We'll continue to move this thing forward. But ladies, make no mistake that, you know, I'm gonna leave that one for the next time. The Latinas, well, I tell you that, like, the bossa nova music and all that stuff brought them out tonight. So let me see what's going on. Appreciate everybody calling in. Niecy Nash. So guys, I got some company about to slide through. It's almost 1 o'clock. Yeah, you know, your Godfather doing what he do. So it's been good. It's been great. You guys like my little thing right here? That's dope, huh? Fun stuff. All right, man. Until the next time, what are we gonna say? Peace. We are gone. She says she hates being called thick.
In this moment, yes, I cannot say what's wrong or right. No.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, man.
No. 'Cause I'm addicted to the good life. Yes. Yeah. Lead the way.
Join me on Patreon. Support the movement. Keep the channel grooving. The channel growing. Thank you guys for supporting me on Patreon, making it possible. We're back to our Monday Patreon only streams, and Patreon video is up. So check out Patreon. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notifications. Turn it to all. Uh-oh, that's not supposed to be you. Join me on Instagram over in the frat room for videos you will only see there. Daily live streams and behind the scenes things. Thing is, when they're up, they're up. When they're down, they're down. Email your show ideas to info@bykevinsamuels.com or go to bykevinsamuels.com and book your one-on-one personal advice, business coaching, virtual consult, whatever you need. Or if you don't know, just book your one billable hour and and we'll figure it out. Thing is, respect my inbox. If you don't take clips from the show, music from the show, the remixes, that kind of stuff, good stuff. I'm a PhD.
I'm a PhD.
I'm a PhD.
I'm a PhD.
I'm a PhD. I'm a PhD. Next week, we'll be back to the thing about increasing your value. Remember, failure, action, change, time. Increase your value. Learn your value, know your value, increase your value. You get the opportunity, the chance to change, to decide what you bring to the market. Increasing your value does a couple of things. It increases your opportunities and increases your options. There's no bad side to increasing your value. You can do it. Your life, your chance, your choice. Till the next time, God